To kick off the Forum on Leadership, I thought it'd be appropriate to celebrate the success and strength of women leaders. And I couldn't talk about women leaders without mentioning my mother-in-law. Barbara Bush was the strongest of leaders who led our country and the Bush family with grace and quick wit. Watching her, I learned how to be a First Lady, and I'm so grateful for her example. We'll all miss her. At the Bush Institute, we recognize that a good future in our world depends on women. So in 2010, we developed the Women's Initiative. The Women's Initiative is designed to support women and girls by improving their access to education, health care, and economic opportunity. Studies show that when you empower women, entire communities and countries thrive. We know from research that when mothers are educated, their children are more likely to be educated and successful. When women are included in the economy, countries are more prosperous. And when women are healthy, their families are healthy. The inclusion of women in all aspects of society strengthens and improves the stability of their countries. Investments in the success of women are investments that pay off. And with the First Ladies Initiative, the Women's Initiative Fellowship, and our Global Health Initiative, Pink Ribbon, Red Ribbon, the Bush Institute is investing in women. The Bush Institute's First Ladies Initiative engages and supports First Ladies from around the world so that they can use their unique platforms to improve the lives of people in their countries. The role of First Lady is unique to every woman who holds the position. We aren't elected, but we're given a remarkable opportunity to advocate for issues we care about and to help address the problems that we see in our countries. In 2013, I traveled to Tanzania to launch the First Ladies Initiative at the Bush Institute African First Ladies Summit. Since then, the First Ladies Initiative has engaged with over 50 current and former First Ladies, elevating important issues for women and girls, including access to health care, education, and economic opportunity. Last year, George and I visited Namibia, where we saw firsthand the work being led by First Lady Monica Gingos to improve the lives of women and young people there. By collaborating with Mrs. Gingos and her staff, the First Ladies Initiative is providing strategic support for her efforts to address inequality, violence, and poverty. And through best practice sharing workshops and training sessions, the Bush Institute is helping to strengthen the capacity of her First Lady's office. With our help, her team developed a clear plan to focus their outreach and engagement. In addition to her work on AIDS and education, in November, Ms. Gingos officially launched a new campaign entitled Break Free, an anti-violence initiative that aims to reduce domestic abuse and assault and to promote peaceful conflict resolution. The Bush Institute published a Role Without a Rule book, the first of its kind research studies that examines the expanding role of First Ladies, the impact they make over time, and the challenges they and all women still face. We hope this report will provide guidance to First Ladies and inspire women leaders everywhere. The Bush Center's Women's Initiative also works with women leaders from the Middle East, North Africa, and Afghanistan. These regions experience some of the worst gender inequalities that cost countries billions of dollars annually. But despite obstacles like unemployment and stagnated growth, women leaders are stepping forward to solve challenges. As academics, advocates, entrepreneurs, and executives, they're increasingly involved in the economies of their countries. The Bush Institute's Women's Initiative Fellowship Program seeks to ensure that today's economic innovators have the tools to be tomorrow's leaders. Dalal Creechin from Tunisia is one of our graduates of the Tunisian Women's Leadership Fellowship. As part of her program, Dalal developed an action plan with a goal of training female candidates and registering 2,000 women from her district to vote in Tunisia's presidential election. She surpassed her goal by training 120 female candidates and registering more than 3,500 women to vote in Tunisia's 2014 parliamentary elections. Dalal, like all of our Women's Initiative Fellows, believes in the future of our country and the value of making sure women are included. This October, we'll welcome to the Bush Center a new class of Women's Initiative Fellows from Afghanistan, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, and Tunisia. President Bush and I believe that every life is precious, and through the Bush Institute's Global Health Initiative, we're committed to saving lives across sub-Saharan Africa. In 2002, at a White House Rose Garden ceremony, President Bush said, "The global devastation of HIV/AIDS staggers the imagination and shocks the conscience." Within 6 months, he unveiled the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, or PEPFAR, the largest international health initiative ever directed at a single disease. The results of PEPFAR have been incredible. You probably don't know this, but because of your tax money, over the past 15 years, Americans have been able to save the lives of more than 13.3 million people through PEPFAR. And PEPFAR is now supporting adolescent girls and young women through its DREAMS partnership. Since DREAMS was launched in 2015, new HIV infections have declined 25 to 40% in countries where DREAMS operates. The success of PEPFAR encouraged us to take on our next challenge, women's cancers. 7 years ago, the Bush Institute launched a program to fight cervical cancer because women living with HIV are 5 times more likely to develop cervical cancer. Since that time, more than 500,000 women have been screened for cervical cancer, and nearly 150,000 girls have been vaccinated against the human papillomavirus, which causes the cervical cancer. George and I know that a woman who survives AIDS should not be left to die from cervical cancer, a preventable disease and the leading cause of cancer death among African women. And neither should her mother or her sister or her friend. Despite the dire headlines we read, there's reason for hope for women in the Middle East, Africa, and around the world. And the accomplishments of Mrs. Gingos and Dalal remind us of that. So today, as we celebrate the success of women in leadership roles, I ask you to think about the women who will make even more progress in the future. The women gathered here today, and maybe even my little precious granddaughters, Mila and Poppy Louise. Consider the legacy that we'll leave for our children. The choices we make now shape the world for the next generation. And that's why I thank each one of you for your leadership in your community, and for you for your commitment to a good future for women everywhere. Thank you all.